Hello, Phil Morris, the Time and Time photographer here, and it's springtime and everyone is excited about going outside. This is a photo from last year. It was a soccer game that I was shooting, and as I was looking through the photos, there was one thing about these photos that really distracted me, and that was the grass. Uh, I really like the intensity on the kids' faces. It's very clear and focused. The people in the background are nicely blurred out, but that grass was just very, very yellow. And you can't get away from it because it is spring and it hasn't had a chance to come back yet. So I decided that I wanted to redevelop this photo. So we're starting from scratch with a virtual copy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through how I would uh, do this photo again. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the camera calibration, put it on camera portrait or landscape. Actually, I like landscape a little bit better. And scroll back up to the top. This was definitely daylight, so we'll switch that. And now that grass is very yellow. I always hit auto just to see where it starts me out at. I generally don't like the way it does the contrast and brightness, so I knock those back. Um, it looks like our exposure is set nicely. We need to pull back some of the detail in the whites. So that looks pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and put in my standard numbers for the presence here. And these are the numbers that seem to work best with my camera. And looking through this, I really don't need to mess with anything on the curves here. Maybe a little extra highlight and a little less on the shadows. Um, and that's a very, very subtle change, but it still looks like it helps a bit. And now let's get down to the grass. Now, if you look, all the kids are wearing blue, black, red, um, and really there's not much in the way of yellows or not even yellows in their faces as much as you would think. So let's go over to the hue, and we're going to take this yellow slider and we're going to crank it up to the green side, maybe about a little under plus 57, 56 looks fine. Now I'm going to do something that doesn't seem to make that much sense, but it will in a moment. I'm going to take the green slider and I am going to pull it down a little bit to kind of balance the color of the green with the color of the yellow. We've really pushed the yellow into a green color here. And now let's go over to the saturation. Now most people would think that they need to really pump up the green. Well, if you do that, what's going to get pumped up is not all of the green. It's going to be the original green that gets pumped up. So we only want to pump it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take the yellow, which if you pull it way down, you'll see that all of the yellow grass that we had is now gray. We of course don't want that. We'll just want to pull it down a little bit so that it takes some of the yellow sheen off of the grass. And scrolling on down, I don't think there's anything else that we really need to set on this. So let's go back to the library here and let's take a look at the before and the after. So we've got a nice bright red. The blues are much more vibrant, and the grass doesn't look as dead. There's still a little bit of yellow in there and such. And if you really wanted to get rid of all of that, you can take it into Photoshop and do it. But Doing this in Lightroom is just a quick way of kind of balancing things out and making this more of a brighter, cheerier version of it as opposed to the gray, dingy, and yellowy grass version of it. Well, that's the tip that I have for you, and thank you for listening.